I know. You know what? You gave it your best shot. You did all. I know. You got a lot of bells and whistles. I understand. I'm not trying to argue here. We did the best we could with you. I mean, we put a $300 linear power supply, upgrade full. I know. You didn't ask for it. I get it. I'm just saying. I think it's time we went our separate ways. I appreciate you, and it's going to be tough for me too. But I'm sure you'll find a good space in the secondary system. Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? I was just breaking up with the Eversolo here. Why are we doing that? Let's talk about it. No, she's gone. It's done. It's over. It's over, babe. You don't have to worry about it. It's all good. I know you don't have all the fancy bells and whistles and shiny bling. Trust me, you don't need that. You have natural beauty. You have beauty inside where it counts. All right, so that intro was funny, and I always try to kind of keep things light. But really, on a serious note, if you have not heard of Orchard Audio, and I really hadn't kind of dove into who they are as a company and kind of what they offer, the first thing that I really heard about Orchard Audio was this Class D GAN amp that everybody's kind of talking about. As the Class D space kind of evolves, we've got these two camps where people are like, Class D cannot be audiophile. And then we've got these camps that, like, you guys haven't heard modern Class D, especially these GAN amplifiers. And so that's kind of really where I got turned on to or started to look into Orchard Audio. And one of our Discord members, Ben, actually said, hey, man, you ought to reach out to this Leo guy with Orchard Audio. He's got some really intriguing products. And so I started to dig in a little bit, and I found out that not only does Leo make really, really impressive GAN Class D amplifiers for a pretty killer price. We're going to do reviews on all of those. But he also makes these streamer DACs. And I really got to kind of looking into them. And we just were like totally engrossed with the Eversolo. We were looking for kind of our next streamer, our next step up, if you will. And I thought, man, how cool. So I reached out to Leo and I said, hey, we'd love to review some of your stuff. He agreed to send us the Pecon Pi streamer DAC. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get into this fantastic thing, who Leo is, who Orchard Audio is, what the products are, what they look like, how they perform, and how they sound, because you are not going to want to miss all of these reviews we're doing on this Orchard Audio stuff. This is an absolutely fantastic company that you want to have on your radar 100%. So let's get into it. All right, so who is Leo and who is Orchard Audio? So Leo is the owner of Orchard Audio. Orchard Audio is a direct-to-customer manufacturer. He makes everything in-house, and he makes Class D amplifiers, GAN amplifiers, as well as streamer DACs. And one of the nice things that I really like about Leo and Orchard Audio is his modularity, if you will. So when you order a streamer DAC from him, and they're all Pi-based streamer DACs, you get to choose kind of your software integration that you want. There's some variables that you can kind of choose from and build these things to kind of suit your needs as a consumer. So a very versatile company, first of all. And he also offers most of his stuff in a DIY application as well. So if you did not want to buy the finished units, you could, if you had the ambition and ability, order these in a DIY setup. And do them yourself and save yourself a lot of money. So that's the first thing about Orchard Audio that's super cool. Second thing about Orchard Audio that I love is Leo is on a mission to really create some purist pieces. And so what do I mean by that? So in talking to Leo and getting to know him, one of the things that he really makes clear is, I just want to get out of the way of the music. I'm not trying to process or color or anything. I want to make the shortest path possible of the signal coming in and the signal going out to the speakers, and use the highest quality parts I can at the price points that I set. So there's a bunch of different options that he has. So if you go onto his website and look at his streamer DACs, they have the Pecon Pi, they have the Pecon Pi Plus, and there's all different configurations and price ranges you can get into anywhere from like $500 like up to $800 or something. And then there's a prototype streamer DAC that we actually have in house right now. That will be coming out in the future. We're going to be doing a review on that. So we're going to be doing a review on all three of Orchard Audio's streamer DACs, as well as the Orchard Audio Duo amplifier, which is a 150 watt amplifier, Class D GAN amp, as well as the Star Crimson Ultra, which is a 500 watt amplifier, Class D GAN amp, and we've been through all three of the products thoroughly for over the last month, and they are absolutely phenomenal. And so that's kind of the thing that I like about Leo is not only is he versatile in his company, he gives you options based on your build. He has this mission to make this minimalist approach and get out of the way of the music, and his stuff just sounds good. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Orchard Audio. So here it is. I got it right here. This is the Pecon Pi. I'll let it focus in. There is no frills, no gimmicks in any of this stuff. This is a volume knob. That's all you see on this piece. This piece, he says, I'm not into bells and whistles. I'm not going to be Eversolo. I'm not going to be any of that stuff. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to give you a volume knob here. Now, if you turn this volume knob all the way up, it will bypass the volume, and then you can use your volume on your, your preamplifier or your app, whatever app you had. Metal cased box, really, really stout and heavy. There is nothing cheap about this product at all. Even the knob feels good. I mean, this is robust. On the bottom, simple again, all perforated for air. He's got nice little rubber feet on there. You know, the sides got nice screws. On the back, if we look here, these are all Pi-based units. So basically Raspberry Pi right here. We've got a 9-volt, barrel connector for our power. And then we have our XLRs and our RCAs. So depending on how you're gonna go out, you can get this with XLRs or RCAs. He's versatile in which connectors that you want to use here. And then we've got the coaxial SPDIF in. So you can use these things as standalone DACs. They're very versatile, and this is kind of what the thing looks like. So everything is really, really high quality. I wish my camera would focus. There we go. We'll get right in on there. Good connectors, good XLRs. There's nothing cheap. It feels really, really good. So that's how this thing looks. Let's talk about how this thing sounds, because that is where the magic is. All right, so just some kind of the basic rundown of this Pecon Pi streamer. It runs dual Burr Brown DAC chips, the flagships. I believe they were the 1794A or something like that. I can't remember exactly which one. 16 24-bit all the way up to 192. Handles all formats. I mean, it's Pi based, so it's very, very versatile. Leo runs individual linear power supplies for each of the op amps and the DAC chips themselves. I mean, like I said, he's really just putting some quality components in this, and it really, really shines through. Less on the bells and whistles, more on the sound, which I'm really, really becoming appreciative of, especially moving from something like the Eversolo, which is all bells and whistles, to something like Orchard Audio stuff, which is just an ultra focus on sound. Okay, so we put this Pecon Pi and we paired it with the Schiit Freya preamp. We used it as a preamp, which you can do. You can literally just plug this thing right into the amplifier, which we did. We ran this thing to our PrimaLuna DiaLouge Premium with some really nice KT88s, KT120s, EL34s. We ran this thing through the gamut. We paired this with the Emotiva DR2, Emotiva XPA-2. We paired this thing. What else did we pair it with? Kelly took it over and paired it with a bunch of stuff at his house too. The overarching theme that you get from this DAC, from this streamer DAC, is it just sounds like music. It has an organic life to it. everything is well balanced. It's not going to be, you hear a lot of people talk about the Eversolo. Oh, it's a little bit aggressive. You know, you hear people talk about, you know, like the Aries, you know, oh, it's a little bit laid back, you know, but it gives you these, you know, artifacts and it images really well. And so one of the things that really knocked us right off the rip with this Orchard Audio was how balanced and organic it was. It just sounded like music. And I don't know what to attribute that to, whether it's the Burr Brown chipsets, whether it's the linear power supplies inside, just how Leo built this whole thing. But there's just nothing happening other than music. And there's no emphasis on anything else. It's just, it's engaging. It pulls you in. One of the things we noticed yesterday, we were over at Kelly's house and we were kind of bouncing back and forth between the Weem and the you know, some different linear power supplies with the Weem app and you know, messing with the Eversolo, and we were going back and forth between the Pecon Pi and the Pecon Pi Plus, and we were putting all these different configurations in. And one thing we started to realize at the end of the day, when you had a Pecon Pi streamer DAC in the system, you were leaning forward and you were engaged in the music, and you found yourself kind of like wanting to focus on what it was. And then when we kind of went back to like Eversolo, you know, Weem Pro, things of that nature, it was like, man, that sounds good. But we kind of found ourselves chitty-chatting a little bit more and not really being super drawn in. So one of the things that we noticed right off the rip was the ability of the Pecon Pi, and this goes across the board with all of his streamer DACs. They all sound a little bit different, but they all have that one thing. They sound like music, very organic, very enjoyable, and they just suck you into the music, man. It's if you find something like that, you want to latch onto that. So that's one of the main things, the main overall sound. You know, typically I kind of break things down on like, this is what the bass sounds like, this is what the vocals sound like, this is what the treble sounds like. With the Orchard Audio stuff, I really didn't feel like, at least in the streamer DAC space, I really didn't feel like it was doing that much other than just making everything as good as it was possible. So whatever you're feeding it and whatever amplifier you're going out to and that tonality and then your speakers, that is what you are going to get. So if your speakers do good bass or they do bad bass or they've emphasized vocals or if they're a little bit more rolled off in the highs or whatever, it's just going to kind of follow suit. I don't feel like it's adding anything. The one thing that I noticed right off the rip, and there are some differences in sound a little bit between the Pecon Pi and the Pecon Pi Plus, and we'll talk about those a little bit. But one thing that I noticed was that when I went back to some of the Eversolo, thinking back to the Blues Sound Node, you know, messing with Kelly's streamer, which is the Weem Pro Plus with a massive linear power supply and all this fancy cabling. It's an amazing setup. Was that there's just a digitalness to them. There's a squareness to everything when you're kind of seeing it, and it sounds fantastic. But it seemed to me that the Pecon Pi, and Kelly and I were talking about this. We were trying to figure out a way how to describe it. It was like it wasn't not focused to a negative. It was kind of like those little square edges on everything, like in the digital space, kind of had a little bull-nosed corner to them or something. I know this is the worst analogy ever, but it was just not sharp and abrasive and tense. You know, I used that word in my last review, tense. I like that one. It was just more like, oh man, you know, that just sounds good. So if you get into this space, you're not going to buy these products to color your sound. So it's just going to sound like what it is. So I can't tell you really the treble sounds like this, the mid sounds like this, or the bass sounds like this. It's just going to make everything sound as good as it possibly can with what gear you're interacting it with. So that's kind of that in a nutshell. Okay, one of the nice things, you know, for you folks, as far as we've talked about, you know, structure, builds, looks, quality, sound, we've gone through that. Integration, you know, how you're going to integrate with this thing or how you're going to, you know, the functionality between you and this unit. There's many options. I've got his website up here. You can do SPDIF coaxial, so you can just make it a DAC if you want. You don't even have to have a streamer. Standalone DAC, it's actually $100 less, so it's like $419. And by the way, Black Friday sale is coming on all of Orchard Audio stuff. So if you were thinking about this, if you're thinking about getting an Orchard Audio product, Black Friday's coming up. You're going to be able to save some money. You can use Volumio, free app. Not the best, but kind of the easiest to use, I think. You can make it a Roon endpoint with the Ropey, which is what I love. I got my new flagship one with the Ropey Roon endpoint, and man, it's just seamless. You plug this thing in, and Roon just takes it away. You're off and running. They do have Pi Core Player, mode. I don't know how Mode Audio, Muad. I don't know, Moode. Mood Audio, so you can kind of choose how you want to interface with this thing. So very, very versatile, and there's no extra charge for any of those. You just tell him what you want at the time of purchase. But I'm going to tell you, in my experience, I got a couple of them that weren't Roon ready. They were kind of Volumio based, and then I got my new one that is completely Roon ready, and it's just the way to go. That's if you're a Roon user, just get the Roon one and just be done with it and enjoy your life and live long and prosper, because that's the magical space right there. But you just let him know when you reach out to him, kind of what services you want to use, kind of how you want to integrate with this thing, and he will get you all set up so that when you get your unit, it is ready for you to rock and roll and enjoy. No hiccups there. Because one of the things that we noticed, I'll tell you and I know this for sure, because the unit that he sent me in the beginning wasn't Roon ready. And in the meantime of us, kind of meeting and us getting the unit, I kind of moved into a Roon space. So when I got the streamer, then it was Volumio based, so I had to download the Volumio app, which really doesn't integrate with Roon, and so we had to download this third-party app because I was, not really set up right, and so there was this big confusion and kind of this hack that you had to go through to get things to kind of work. So it's important that you know that, and you can't blame Orchard Audio because we just didn't have the right software and the right thing, and so we kind of had to do some backdoor stuff and to get it to make it work. So make sure that when you buy this thing, you know how you're going to use it and you get the software integration that works for you. All right, so just kind of wrapping up the review. We are coming off of a $1,200 Eversolo streamer DAC, being the $900 streamer itself, with a $300 linear power supply upgrade. And we jump into this Pecon Pi streamer for $519. And I'm telling you, it's a no-brainer. If you do not care about all of those bells and whistles that the Eversolo has, because I know that's the hot streamer right now, and you are more focused on sound quality and the performance and sound of your system, you will be better served by purchasing the Pecon Pi, because it is on another level sound-wise compared to the Eversolo. The Eversolo is a little bit forward, it's a little bit aggressive, it can be a little bit digital. It sounds good, it performs good, I love it. But once I heard this Orchard Audio Pecon Pi, there's just no going back. I cannot go back to the Eversolo, the blues node, the blues sound node. I can't go back to the Weem Pro. I can't do any of that stuff with external DACs. The Aries 2 is out. I went over to Kelly's yesterday. The Schumann ladder. I mean, this guy's got the Weem Pro linear, ultra linear. Linear power supply, custom cables, ladder Schumann, $1,500 DAC, right? So we're talking almost a $2,000 streamer and DAC network setup that he has put together, that is reference. And we went over and started listening to these Pecon Pi streamers, and it was like, nope, we're all done with that. It's game over. And it's the same for me. So just two examples of two individuals over the last 3 or 4 weeks who have been living with these streamer DACs, who completely changed their perspective and their preferences. And the Orchard Audios are going to be staying. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Remember, we are the world's only nonprofit charity streamers. 100% of our proceeds go directly to help youth musical programs. Almost $5,000 donated to date. Stay tuned. We're going to have a bunch more reviews coming from Orchard Audio. We are super excited about it. And save yourself a lot of headache and money, and just go out and pick one of these up for $500 and be done with your streamer DAC stuff. There's no need for anything else. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day.